So let us see what is object-oriented development. So here, first let us understand what are first computers, then we'll talk about object-oriented development. First computers are developed mainly to automate a well-defined process, that is an algorithm. So initially we developed a computers called first computers. These are developed mainly to run the well-defined process. We already know what the job is. Okay, the problem statement is ready. So only with that particular problem we can run the process. So we have the algorithm for that. So what actually this process does, we have written the code for numerical computation. Only it performs numerical computation. As systems became more complex, that's what, as necessity increases, then the software has to be developed, you have to go for a complex software. So system became more complex. So its effectiveness in developing solutions became suspect. That's what. Whether it meets the requirement or not. We have a doubt whether the first computers, whatever we have developed, that will satisfy the requirement. Okay, so that is a doubt here. So initially we have developed a system computers which are used only for numerical computation, which are unable to satisfy the requirements. Okay, so it will not support the complex software. It is useful only small numerical computation. So then what is the next step we can do to overcome this problem? We go for the next step. Software applications developed in later years have two differentiating characteristics. So after a few years, we try to develop a software with two differentiating characteristics. What are those? The first characteristics that the design will satisfy as behavior that was hard to characterize as a process. It's very difficult. I have the job to be done, but it's not easy to complete the job with whatever I have. The first computers, these are unable to complete this job. So we are looking for the complex software here. So that first step is not easy to design the required software. That's the first step. The analysis what we have done. Next we try to build a software such that it should reach the criteria such as the requirements of reliability. I think all these parameters I have discussed when I discussed in the first few classes. Reliability means what? The performance of your system or your design should remain stable. It should remain constant throughout. Okay. Whereas performance, I also discussed about this. This is with respect to time management, then memory management, all that. How best your system works, your design works, whether it is performing well for the given lifetime or any failure occurs. All these are to be taken care, and costs that the original developers did not face. So whatever you have budgeted now, that should not cross. So all these requirements are to be taken care. Whether I will be able to build the process, or whether I will be able to build a software construction process for the given problem, that is the first step. That is very hard. The second step, I also have to take care that I should be able to satisfy the requirements of reliability, performance, and the cost required for the development. So this is about the second step here. So coming to the next step, this approach, whatever we tried now, the second step, that approach is known as process-centered approach. So this is called as process-centered approach to software development used what is called top-down functional decomposition. So in this method, process-centered approach, in this method, we go for top-down functional decomposition. That means we are giving the steps from top to bottom, not from the bottom to top. So first step here, in such a design was to recognize what the process had to deliver, which was followed by decomposition of the process into functional modules. All these topics we have already studied: decomposition, composing, abstraction, all that we have studied. Now we have to see just what is to be done in first step, what is to be done in second step, all that. First step, what we are doing, we are recognizing what is the job to be done, what the process has to be instantiated. Based on that, it will deliver the data, and which is followed by decomposition. We separate. And the main job, whatever I have now, that I will assign to different modules here, different objects here. So the decomposition should take place. So I have whatever the main job now, that I have divided into functional modules. I will call the objects here as modules. That's it. So next step, structures to store data were defined, and the computation was carried out by invoking the models. I have the different modules created in the first step. Now, how to store data, how to define the data to be used here. So for these structures, I have the last topic we have discussed now, the tree structure form, all that. The same technique here. So I have for these models, I need to assign the computation to be done, the operation to be done. So which performs some computation on the stored data elements. That means your object contains data, right? That data is known as elements here. Data elements are nothing but the data inside the object. So we have a structure, these process, how we have inherited the parent class inherited to subclasses in the form of tree structure. Now we define the computation, the operation to be done. So each of these models will carry out the computation assigned, and how is it will perform? It is performed on the data set available. Okay. So next step, we have the life of a process-centered design. This type of approach, the lifetime of this design, this method of design was short. It is very short. It cannot be reused for longer time because changes to the process specification require a change in the entire program. Say for example, I have some standard problems to be solved, it will solve that given problems. If I have to go for a new problem to be solved, then I need to change the specification required. So if you want to change the specification, then you need to change the entire program. So this type of concept cannot be used for a longer time. It is very short. The lifetime is very short in this concept. So what is it we have to do in the next step? This resulted in an inability to reuse existing code without considerable overhead. That's what. You cannot use this for a long time. You cannot reuse the same. So this will actually reduce the overhead. I am not reusing the same. But you are unable to solve